All right. Let's go. Let's go. We are live. We are live right now. Welcome back to Corbellic Studios. I'm Corbellic. We're here for another live stream painting show that we're going to be doing right now. You are here for the best painting entertainment streaming show that we have. This is going to be the best. All right. Today's lessons that we're going to be having is talking about money secrets. So this is going to be a really good one. Here, let me open up my palette right now. Apologies if you were in the lobby waiting a little bit long. I had to do some update on my software, but you don't want to hear about that stuff. It doesn't matter. But we are here this morning. That's the thing that matters, is that you show up to work, that we are here to work. We show up to work. And like I said, we got a great topic today. I mean, we always have great topics, right? And then we always go off on little side tangents, and then we come back, and then we loop it back around, and then we see what's going on inside the chat. Then we paint again. So today's going to be a really cool one. I really don't know what's going to be on the reference. I'm not even going to lie to you. I didn't really prepare the reference book last night, but I always have references. So, whatever's going to be showing up there, that's what we're going to be painting today. So that's going to be the cool part as well, too. I think that I'm going to have fun with is that I don't know what I'm going to paint, but it's just like going into the studio any other day. I get to show up, I get to paint, and yeah, let's see who we got in here so far. We got Lee, we got Maria. We got Jaded Hunter. All right, that's what we got so far. Cool. Look, I understand. It seems like on the live streams, is that Wednesdays are kind of either the slow days on here, or it seems like that's the day that people are like being most productive, and maybe you're getting more into a groove into your week, and you're just being able to produce. You're able to paint more. You're able to do more, right? Isn't that what's going on? It's like you're in a groove on when it comes to, you're more into a groove of your workday on Wednesday, and you're able to just get into the flow of it. And I think that you're being more productive today. But that's the good thing, because that's what we talk about in the elite community anyways, is that on Wednesdays, it's so important for you to show up. Wednesdays, Thursdays, and even Fridays. Fridays is important too, because Monday is when it lands on the 10-day duration, that's a hot day for the auction. So it's important for you to show up and be focused on those days. So I appreciate that. I don't take any offense off of it whatsoever, because I know that you're still listening to me. Who else you gonna listen to? Everybody else on YouTube is boring. Who else you gonna listen to? You try to you try to click off for a little bit on the Corbellic, and then you come back and you're like, dang, he's still on, he's still talking. See, exactly. There's nowhere you're gonna go. All right, who we got here? We got Nancy. All right. Looking forward to today. Yesterday was an awesome live feed. I appreciate that. See, I feed off of your energy. I feed off your energy. I feed off my energy. Sometimes I get off here, my mind is depleted, right? And then when my mind is kind of like tired after the live stream, I'm like, oh, was that a good one? Did I kind of go off too much of a tangent? Was I too authentic? Sometimes I keep it too real, and I don't have the I've never been good at the whole filter thing. I never been good of like toning down of what is authentic and what's real. But I always feel good about it, because that's just like anything in life. There can only be one you, all right? There can only be one you. There are no mistakes. Whatever it is, own up to it. You can't cater to everybody, all right? And the people who you don't cater to, that's not your tribe, and it's just not meant for it. It's just better to live an authentic life to the fullest and be transparent about everything. So that's what I try to be. It doesn't matter. I don't have any apologies afterwards about the things that I say, because like I said, I always feel like when I'm talking to you, I'm really talking to my past self, of giving myself advice. Things that I wish that I would have known when I started off in my art business, or just business in general, or just even really, I'm talking to myself in just like in life. I wish that I had these lessons in life. But that's the cool thing about growing older, is just wisdom, right? I mean, we all have that. All right, let's add some paint on here. Just a little bit of black. Everything else I think we're good for. All right, I'm gonna add some black. Maybe that was too much black. And then I'm going to add just some white, and then that's it. And then we can get on. We can get on with the get on. It was raining in LA today. It was raining, or maybe it was like raining last night. And usually I like to go hiking in the morning time before the show, but I didn't get a chance to do it. So I'm going to have to go to the gym and get my walk on there. All right. So let me know how you're feeling in the comments. Let me know who's all here. If you're here and if you haven't already, please leave a like in there. Lets YouTube know that we're doing God's work in the algorithm. All right. Lets them know that we are actually doing a good thing and we're saving lives around here. All right. Let me get my canvas ready. Today we're going to be doing 14 by 11s. 14 by 11s. But we're also going to be doing some, today I'm going to do seven. I'm going to do seven 14 by 11s, and then I'm going to do two 16 by 20s. You know, some days I gotta pick. I gotta pick or choose my poison. It's like either we have a great live stream where I'm dropping a lot of gems and I'm really being interactive with the community and with the comments, and I'm really dropping gems, and the art slacks a little bit where I'm not hitting my numbers, or I hit my numbers, but yet my mind is like not too focused on the topic at hand. So it's like I'm always trying to find that medium ground. Because if I'm painting alone, I knock them out because I'm just in my own zone. I'm not talking to nobody. I'm not focused on doing like 5 things at once, right? So that's the things that personally, me being a perfectionist, that's the things that I have to work on. But maybe I don't have to work on it. It's just like at least I show up, right? But I don't want you. I feel bad because it's like sometimes I feel like it's a bad example because I want you to show up better. I want you to always be better than me, be better than Corbellic. Like I said, I'm talking to my previous self, and I want you to show up to be faster where you're actually working on the 10 to 12 minutes. So I don't want you to get discouraged of what my time is when I'm live streaming with you because I'm focused on other things. And I have to work on that myself where I'm like, you know what? Tomorrow, I don't care what it's going to be. I'm going to go faster. I'm going to go faster. So that's today what's in my mind right now. I'm just unwrapping these 14 by 11s. So that's what's in my mind right now. It's just like I just want to paint a little bit faster and then also drop these gems of what we're going to be talking about because it's very, very important. It's so important what I'm going to talk about today that here I'm just moving this projector up a little bit. There we go. It's so important what I'm going to talk about today that I'm going to have several videos about it. I'm even going to have like a whiteboard video about it. And yeah, I'm going to be talking more about it. I'm probably even going to even have like a course inside the community about it too. It's just certain secrets of the money, okay? And these are things that I had to learn. These are lessons that I'm going to give away, you know, just in short bursts. But these are things that I had to pay thousands of dollars for on courses. These are like secret society stuff that I'm going to be talking to you about. Hey, Peter. Good to have you here. Good morning. So if you're cool with that, then I'm cool with that. All right, let's do this. So the first painting that we're going to have right now is going to be it's going to be a pink flamingos. Hey, Bretta. All right, so we're starting to get more people in here. That's cool. I was a little bit late today, but I'm glad to see that maybe you're a little bit late as well. But I want to get straight into this because I really want to have this be kind of like an hour and a half, no more than 2-hour video. That way I have some other business stuff to take care of. But yeah, let's do this. I'm really focused, man. Boom. There we go. So this is our pink flamingos, and we're just going to do these real quick. These are going to be really beautiful, really nice. I'm going to do the background like it's going to be like water they're standing in, so it's going to be pretty blue. It's going to be pretty blue, a pretty blue. All right, let me do a little bit of water. See, look, I have like where I loaded it up with a little bit of paint like this, right? And then I come over here with just a little bit of water in my water bin. And then I'm going to go sideways just like this. Sideways just like that. And now let's take a little bit of purple, because why not? And then since I have a little bit of purple loaded up on that brush, right, I'm still going to have a little bit of water. Just put a little bit of water on that brush. That way it slides like this. You can see how it's sliding, right? That way we get that look. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of the blue so we can have like the pond effect, right? We want that pond effect in the background. I don't know what I'm doing. Maybe it's like that. All right, cool, right? Something like that. All right, that works for me. Now I just dry this off. Now, one of the things that today's going to be a really cool lesson, but it's going to go over a lot of people's heads. And I'm going to have multiple videos on this to really break it down, because people think that success and money is just as simple as doing the hard work, working long hours, or some people just manifesting and wishing and saying affirmations in the mirror. And that's furthest from the truth. Because there's also universal laws about success and money. And the first one that we're going to touch base on is the energy. Hey, 717 Best, happy to have you here. Scarcity thinking blocks the flow of money. Scarcity thinking. Your belief system, it controls your income ceiling. So what I mean by that is if you're always in a standpoint or a mindset of have not or I need, then that's where your attention is flowing towards. And if your attention is flowing towards that, that's where you're giving attention to. You ever think about something that you don't want, and then you end up getting it because your mind is thinking about the outcome or the things that you don't want. But it's not even about that, right? About the mindset of it. It's even deeper than that. And one of them, to give you real, I mean, some of the things that I'll probably say, I don't know if like I'll probably even get in trouble on YouTube or so, or like these are secret society type stuff. And one of the main things that they teach you, like the first thing that they teach you inside the secret society is this. Is it that if you want money and success to come to you, you have to give. You have to give. Why do you think Rockefeller, Carnegie, Bill Gates, why do you think all these people are philanthropists? And then they always were rich. You think they did it because of the kindness of their hearts? No, they did it because they understood the universal law of money, of wealth. And you have to give back. You have to be willing to give. But I'm not talking about the give where they have on YouTube where somebody's like handing out things to homeless people or something and then they're videotaping it, because God knows that you're doing that for attention then. Then it's not sincere. And your blessings, you'll still be blessed, but the blessings won't be as high. There's actually a Bible quote that talks about this. I have to look it up. But you have to do it. Really, this is what they teach in the secret society, is that when you give, it has to be anonymous. That's the biggest blessing. It has to be anonymous where nobody knows where it comes from. But it came from you, then you get the blessing back. But you also get bigger blessings back if you give from a standpoint where you don't have. It's not as beneficial for you to give when you already have. Like, don't wait for a situation where you get money and then you give back. It has to be in a situation where you don't have and then you give because you trust and you know that it's coming back to you. It comes back to you. These are universal laws. Universal laws such as gravity, such as energy, such as things that we can't see, right? We can't see these things with the naked eye, but they are there. It is true. These things are true. Like I said, this conversation might not be for everybody. You ever notice how like cheap people, broke people, they stay broke? They stay not winning, they stay not having because they always come from a mindset of they think that they can hold on to it. And then you ever notice the people who are successful are people who they're generous? It's because it comes back to them. There's universal laws. Now, the things that I talk about, I know these universal laws. I can't tell you why it works that way or how it works that way. I just know these are the things that are taught behind closed doors. That's why I always talk about that. That's why I'm so proud to talk about that I've sold 17,000 paintings, right? Or just on eBay. Now, of course, a lot of those paintings, especially when I was starting off or whatever, like I told you, I don't day trade the numbers. I don't day trade the numbers because the universal law is that it's going to come back to me. I'm always so blessed where I can say I don't have to paint another day of my life because I created 17,000 paintings, which means that I've already blessed a lot of people in their life. I've already done the blessing. I've already gave so many things away for free, or I've gave away things at low pricing, or I don't day trade the numbers. And, you know, now looking back on it, remember on some of my earlier videos, I talk about that eBay's algorithm is smarter than all of us, that if you don't day trade the numbers, that it comes back to you either a buy it now or whatever. But really, that's not the truth. Really, the truth is that God and the universe, there's universal laws. It comes back to you. That's what's smarter than the algorithm. What's smarter than the algorithm is God's law, which is the universal law of how money and energy comes back to you. Money is energy. Wealth is energy. It's not because these people are smarter than us or more disciplined or work harder. And it's not even about how long you work either. Oh, you got to just work harder and grind harder. That's a myth. And just like magicians, how I like to say, where some people like the polar bear hairs, they might say that they actually worked on the thing that long, but really they didn't. And that was just the hustle of it. That's the grift of saying to people that they work that hard. So that way it seems more mysterious and it seems like they're a hard worker. Most times people who are really rich and wealthy in this world, they're really not hard workers. And a lot of times they pretend that they're working hard or they're doing things, but they're really not. It's just that they understand universal laws because they've had people in their family that pass down the teachings of the universal laws of wealth and how it works within the transfer of energy. I'm going to give you a great example that a lot of people don't know about. Did you know that the company Rolex is a non-profit organization? You can look it up. They're a non-profit organization. Do you think they're a non-profit organization because Rolex, the luxury watch company, doesn't want money? That they don't care about the riches? That they don't care about being successful and looking successful? They give it back. And the reason they give it back is because they were taught hundreds of years ago about the universal laws of money. These are the first lessons that they teach you in, I'll call it, the society. I could be in trouble telling you this stuff. But this is also about how I've been blessed by giving back. Giving back is giving back the knowledge. Now, income expands when the identity expands. And knowing that it comes back to you. I love the notion where I've painted so many paintings. And I've been able to take care of my family and travel the world. The reason why is because I was taught the universal laws of money, of giving back. Oh, some people want to day trade the numbers. Have you ever noticed, like in our community, we have some people who are winning because they're playing the game, even if they know it or they don't know it, of energy, with of universal laws of money and wealth, and bringing it to them. Then you have some people where they feel like it's not working for them because it's the mindset of scarcity compared to feeling like you're giving it before feeling like, well, I'm losing money. You ever find people who want to hold on to all the money all the time? They want to hold on to it. And then those are the people who always stay broke and they don't understand it. Why? Why is the universe playing this game with them? Why am I always so broke? What is this? I'm gonna call it quits on this one. This one's a good one. I'm just gonna leave it there on this flamingo. And then you get trapped in these cycles. So you ever hear where they say like, oh, my grandfather was cursed and my mother was cursed because this gypsy came to the village one time and 100 years ago, and we just been in this whole cycle. It's been in the cycle because come from a mindset of scarcity and the energy of scarcity. The subconscious mind is that you earn what you believe you deserve. A lot of times it's childhood programming that shapes financial behavior. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this painting. Isn't this beautiful? Look at that. Come on, look at those pink flamingos. I love it. All right. All right, let me put it up here just a little bit longer so you can see it, huh? Isn't that good? What do you think? I love it. I think it looks great. Oh, let me get more wax paper. And what do I mean by this? It's kind of like childhood trauma, and it shapes the way how we think about money. Maybe we saw our parents arguing over money. Maybe there was a bad divorce, and it shaped the way of how we think about it. Or maybe when we were kids, that was the thing that always was the argument in the household, or you feel guilty about having it. A lot of times that happens too. Let's go to the next one. Hoarding money, it'll stagnate you. Waiting for that golden opportunity. Well, one day when I'm rich, I'll give back. The one who will get the most blessing, and then it turns into a snowball effect, is the one who does the blessing when maybe you're just at your last dollar, or maybe you really don't have, and then you're in a situation where you can give back. Like I said, a great way for me, a great blessing for me. And these are things that I didn't even know when I started off, but I was taught these things because I paid like hundreds of thousands of dollars just for courses. And what they would teach, or the thing that what I was learning, is that, whoa, from doing the paintings, and some of them, whoa, they sold for a couple dollars. They sold for whatever. As long as I kept showing up, and I didn't even know this, I was like, whoa, but the blessings are coming. Universal law of giving back. And then I wasn't broadcasting it either. I think there's an old story from what I've read years ago. I think it was someone like Jay-Z or something. I don't know. I think so. But when he started off, I think it was Liar Cohen, who's like his handler, who's also into the secret society teachings. He's told him, he said, in order for you to become wealthy, you have to give back, but it has to be anonymous. And it comes back to you. That's how you keep your wealth, and that's how you get more. It comes back to you. And that's why these people go into philanthropy or nonprofits and things like that. The energy of it comes back to you. But you have to do it from the mindset of not scarcity, but the mindset of abundance, where you know from the heavens that it comes back to you. I wish I would have had the Bible quote ready, but there's actually a Bible quote. Actually, you know what? Let me. I think I have it pulled. Let me grab it real quick. Apologies, but I do have it. And it's very important. That's why I have to read this to you. At least I think that I have it. Apologies. Oh well. I'll find it another time. But Anne Frank is also known for saying that no one has ever become poor by giving. You could look up that quote. Anne Frank says no one has ever become poor by giving. And you're going to pride yourself pretty soon by knowing that you have blessed people with your paintings and that it's coming back to you tenfold. Now, another one of the tricks is, and I talked about this on one of the live streams. In order for you to get to that point, we talked about this on the scaling. You have to invest in yourself, most importantly, but you have to invest in the money. Don't hoard it, don't save it. There's no real interest yield when it comes to that, especially nowadays. The yield comes from investments. And you have to invest strategically. One of the best things that a mentor has taught me, and I talked about this too on one of the streams, is invest in your luck. But what do you mean, Corbellic? And this is something I think of all the time. I still think about it to this day. Anytime that I know that money's coming my way, or I'm about to get a paycheck or anything like that, I always think about how much I'm putting away. I'm going to pay myself first to put money away in my luck savings. There's there's three different types of savings, to be honest, maybe even four. You have the savings that's going to be for your business expenses. You have the savings that's going to be for a rainy day emergency. You have savings that's going to be for, I'm going on vacation, right? And then you have the other savings, the last one, which is really my first one, that I won't even think about touching. There is no ever touching it. This one is super important because it's the one that fuels everything. This savings is called your good luck savings. your wealth savings. The only reason how you'll be successful is by having a certain savings amount that is tucked away, and that money being saved will bring you the luck. It will bring you the money. So then with the extra money from that, then you're able to do more things with it. You're able to do your philanthropy. You're able to give back. You're able to, even if you don't do philanthropy, I mean, we do a form of philanthropy anyways, because we're painting, and then, wherever our paintings land at, it goes, or, just what we do in general, even by sharing knowledge. But there's what I said last week is that, for example, pay yourself $100 first, right? Keep paying yourself that $100 into your good luck savings nest that you'll never touch. So that way it builds up into $1,000. Once you have this savings nest of $1,000, which is your good luck's nest, you'll see that $100,000 will come to you. Money will only come to you once you have money. Okay? Money won't come to you just because you want to manifest on it, or say affirmations in a mirror, or woo-woos, and those things feel good and they're great. They do, they do a mindset. But there's also universal laws. And I'm pretty sure you've noticed it as well too in your life, and you couldn't understand it, where there was times where you came across money and then all of a sudden more money started to come to you, right? But then all of a sudden you get broke again, and then you want to get that energy back. There's a certain type of energy in your life when you started getting money, right? Or when the money starts coming to you, there's a certain type of energy in your spirit, in your aura. You know what I'm talking about. And then when you don't have it, you want to get that energy back, because when you had that money, you felt this energy where money was coming to you. You felt this light. It's universal laws. More money will come to you where you're able to not be in the mindset of scarcity. See, and I think, like I told you, I'm giving you universal laws of money and wealth, but I told you that I also don't understand the reason of why they work. Maybe like gravity and electricity, right? But I could tell you of where I think that how they work. I think how the good luck savings works is that, psychologically you're not broke, and you're not coming from a mindset of scarcity and desperation. Because just like in a relationship, or just like in a partnership or anything, you know how humans, we can smell the desperation on somebody. If you smell the desperation on somebody who comes up to you, they want to work with you, or they want to be in a relationship with you, or be your friend, and if you smell the desperation on you, what do? It's you want them away from you, right? It's repulsive. And it's the same thing about how it works when we sell art or any kind of business that we do. Now, if you know that you have a good luck savings, and you know in your mind you have different savings, right? You already have your vacation savings. You already have your investing your business savings, and you're already having your rainy day savings. So you already have those savings. So you're not thinking of the good luck bank, like one day you might crack into it if things go bad. Like, you're never going to touch it. And I don't care if you just have to put $50 away a week, or $100. Bit by bit, you build that thing up, all right? You build it up and you put it in your mind, you're never going to touch it. But what's going to happen is you're always going to have a mindset of that you're not coming from a state of desperation of an art sale, or a human interaction, or a partnership or relationship. You're never going to come from a mindset of scarcity, because you have different forms of savings. And I think the psychology of it is that the money will come to you that way. So that's how I look at it, where it's like, you're never going to be tripping off of it like you desperately need it. Because us humans, even though at times we could say that, put your game face on and act this way and act that way, we're still human, and some people care a little bit more about things, so it's hard for other people to kind of turn off emotions more than it is for others. But I think the universal thing for most people to be able to appreciate, or at least to be able to go off of, is when you have the emergency, not the emergency, but the good luck savings. Because then you don't have to fake it. You don't have to fake it. You don't have to fake like, well, I'm gonna go into this negotiation where I'm dead broke and I really need it. I'm hungry and I'm gonna pretend that I have it. It's kind of hard to tell people that. Some people who are able to get away with stuff like that are very business savvy people and somewhat of a sociopath, right? But it's hard to tell other humans to do that. But on a mass level, to tell most people can relate to the message of having a have don't yes, have an emergency savings, have a vacation savings, have a savings for your business. But the important one for me, anytime to this day, any type of money that I get, I always put money to the side for my good luck savings. Because the bigger that bag gets, the more money that comes my way. Because I'm always in a mindset of like, I don't need, I'm nonchalant. That's how manifestation really works. Manifestations doesn't just work off of the woo-woos and the I hope and I hope one day, help me. And it really comes from the mindset of I already have. And I already have and I'm not worried. I can live with and I can live without. I already have. But it's hard to tell some people who genuinely know they don't have, and you're telling them, "Hey, just pretend that you already have $1 million." That's hard to tell normal people. Hey, pretend that you have $1 million. It's easy for me. It's easy for people to make videos on this stuff like that. Like we hear it all the time, where you hear these gurus or these people, these like it gives a bad name of manifestation, right? Because you hear all the time from people was manifest that you're a billionaire, but I'm broke and starving today. So what you're telling me doesn't help me. Like you're just telling me like I'm hurting today. I got bills due today, and you're telling me the daydream. Like that doesn't help anything, man. That's not helping. It's hard for most people who have real life problems to be like, yeah, let me pretend that I got a yacht in my backyard, right? That's not helping today, because that doesn't actually make the yacht appear tomorrow either. But what does is little by little, you could feel good and you could take actions today about even if it's $5, even if it's $5, $20, it adds up, because remember, like I said, we're never, ever, 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 ever touching that good luck savings. And I always think about it to this day, no matter how much, money that I get, I always put away money into my good luck savings. Whatever I get paid, I separate it into, like 4 quarters. Really, really, like if I get paid, I'll separate it into, I'll split it in half. And then the other half, whatever that 50% is, I'll chop that up into 4 quarters. People go broke because as soon as you get paid, people look at the money as it's all together. Well, I only got this amount of money. I only got that, and I only got like you'll always will stay broke, and then people think that they're always going to stay broke because you think that you only got paid a little bit amount on your paycheck or whatever it is, and it doesn't cover enough of what you want or whatever you need to do. Your credit card bill is this much, your student loan payment is this much, your mortgage is this much, and you only have this much left from the paycheck. And then you'll never get out of that. They don't teach the secret. How you get out of it is you have to chop your money up. You have to chop it up, and then some of it you have to put away into your, pay yourself. Always pay yourself first before the bill, and then put money away in the good luck bin. You'll never touch it. It's a dead bin. If you feel like, well, and then if you say this to yourself, like, but what if one day I have an emergency? Then you make sure that you allot money to your emergency savings. You make an emergency savings then. That's not your emergency savings. That's your good luck savings. We don't touch that. This is how the wealthy stays wealthy, because the money comes to them. Why does the rich stay? Why does the rich keep getting richer? What is going on here? The world is so unfair. Oh, the world is so unfair. The rich keeps getting richer. Jada Hunter says, I just upgraded from the standard to the premium elite. That's awesome to hear. Yeah, you're gonna get more. You're gonna get more that way because you get full access. And there's just too much information on the courses that you don't get if not. Let's see what else we have here. So another thing is that fear keeps you broke. We always talk about that. Scared money makes no money. Fear will keep you broke. Time waits for nobody. I love where I see we never understand. We'll see certain videos of like celebrities or maybe their kids or maybe somebody who were put in situations and we're like, how is that possible? They're a nepo, whatever. Or they didn't work that hard forever, but they were taught the money lessons. They were taught the wealth. And they were taught about having calculated risk, or not even calculated, just making risk. Now, us normies, we want to play everything so safe, and we care what people think too much, and we'll put things off to the side and be like, oh, one day. See, the wealthy already understand that by the time they already took the risk and maybe they fail, maybe they embarrassed themselves or whatever, in a year or so, no one cares and everybody already forgot about it. But then by then, they've already gotten wealthy. They've already gotten rich. I used to say in Hollywood, I used to say on here, but in Hollywood, right? The best actors are not really the ones who are the most talented and they can act. Really, what makes actors very successful, and this is something I had to learn as well too, what makes them very successful is that they take risk and they take a chance. Those are the ones that the directors always like to work with, and that's just the same as in life. It's exactly how we paint. Most of the decisions that we make and most of the choices, the color choices, the canvas choices, this theme, this subject matter, all of these things, none of that stuff matters. The only thing that matters is that you made a choice. You took a risk and you made a choice and you committed to it. So for anybody in here who doesn't know anything about like theater and acting or whatever, one of the things that they always talk about is commit. You know, commit to the choice, commit to acting, commit. Because you can always tell the worst actors are the ones who didn't commit because they were like either embarrassed by their choices or they were like, you could tell, and it's just bad acting. It's bad acting, and you can always tell. It's like, commit. You know, there would be students who would used to pay so much money, Stanislavski or Stella Adler, who are these famous art teachers, and they used to pay thousands of dollars just so they could teach them on just commit to the choice. And that's just the same thing as in life with also generating wealth. It doesn't matter what the choice is, just commit. Life knows when you're When you have fear on you, scared money makes no money. They know when you're being desperate, but they also know when you're half-assing it. That's why I tell people all the time. I mean, you can tell me whatever you want. It's kind of like talking to a child, right? Or talking to my son. It's like, one thing, you could tell me one thing, but I'm not there with you in the moment. And only you know and God knows of whatever the truth is, or if you've done the work. Or if you just done the risk. You could tell me whatever but I've worked really hard and for some reason it's not working. Okay. What do you want me to do? Because I understand how universal law works. So you're basically trying to tell me that universal law, it for some reason it skips you, it doesn't work for you. A lot of times I don't talk about these things inside a lot of times I don't talk about these things inside the community where it's like, that's how I look at certain things where I hear like certain problems or whatever. I'm like, oh, so I know how the universal law works. I know better than any, I know how universal law works, but for some reason you're saying that it doesn't work with you. It's kind of like the analogy of, those shows, my 500-pound wife, or what is it? My 600-pound life, or I don't know, the obese people, right? But every time they go to the doctor, right? What do they always say? But doctor, I've been eating lettuce and cabbage and carrots every single day. I just been eating water, doctor. And the doctor looks at them like, uh-huh. So you mean to tell me that universal law just stopped working with you? Just calories fell out the sky for you, huh? And then you have the ones where it actually works. And I know it works because you can see it. It's in the action. You can smell it. You know what it smells like. You know what it looks like. It's the same thing. And life can see that too. People can see that too. These are universal truths. 717 Best says they also have different financial education than the rest of us. That's true. And maybe there was a short period of time in my life where I used to frown on that. Oh, how can they get better education than me? But it was like, if we were in that situation, it'd be the same thing. Their knowledge gets passed down. A lot of the things that I'm talking about right now, it's funny that you say that. A lot of the things that I'm talking about right now are from the elites of these are things that Rockefellers teach their kids. These are lessons that have been passed around for centuries. And yeah, you're right. They don't want normies to have this information. Why should you have power? If you have power, then that kind of takes away power from them. Like I said, you have to be initiated to kind of get this information. Or you have to know someone who knows someone who knows someone. That's why coaching is always so important, or at least a mentor, so you can get the information that would take you years, or not even years. Maybe you wouldn't even get it at all. And then a lot of people, they teach that hard work is enough, and it's not. They teach, oh, if you just work long enough, and it's not. There's universal laws. Are you guys alive in the comments? Let me know if I'm making sense, or if this is going over your head. If it's going over your head, then I'll go back to a basic conversation. Then we'll talk about polar bear hairs. because I got some gems. All right. I think I'm done with this one. This is our cactus. I could keep working this one if I want to. These are so fun. Actually, let me throw some thorns on this one. Kim says it makes sense. I'm just focused on how I have to have this painting. I have to have this painting too. Send me a message inside the elite community. Maybe I'll just send it to you. See what I'm talking about? Those goes back to what we were just talking about in this class. Universal lessons. Universal life force. Giving back. I'm fine with doing stuff like that. Maybe I'll just give it to you. Send me a message. And why? Because the energy comes back to us. We're not worried about it. I could paint another one of these if I wanted to. God sees it. You ever see those videos where people are like, they're giving money to homeless people on the street or something, but then they're videotaping it? Those people, like, even if they're doing a good thing, they'll get a little bit of blessings, but they don't get the full blessing. It doesn't come back to them that way. Universal law. The biggest blessings is the ones that are done when no one knows about it. All right. That's that on that one. I'm done. All right, let me put my signature on this one. Boom. Look at that. That was fun right there. People love cactus. All right. We put that one in the vase. We had fun on that one. That's beautiful, right? Look at that. I love it. Let me know what you think in the comments. Is that beautiful or what? It's great. It's cool. It's okay. It's whatever. Send me a message on it, Kim. I'll send it to you. Now, another gem that's a huge gem is that your environment shapes your wealth faster than anything. It's so much hard for people who are maybe in impoverished situations or their living situation. It's kind of like the feng shui, right? Of where you're at. The best way to improve your wealth as well is your environment, because people can be a product of their environment. We used to say POME when younger, but you can be a product of your environment. That's why a lot of times people are in these generational traps, in these circles where they don't change their environment and they're in these impoverished situations because you don't see the people around you are, I mean, you have to be, I mean, that's why they call it, you become a stat, because it's statistically almost impossible for you to get out of those situations unless you're like a rare top 3% tile who is able to focus in and then get yourself out of that situation. But then that type of form of dedication and mindset was like almost like your sociopath too, because it affects your mind of your environment. If you want to have wealth and you want to have it in the fastest form as well, is change your environment. Notice how you'll notice how your mind is going to be once you start hanging around healthy, wealthy people, or even wealthy living situations, or where you're at, like if where your home is at. One of the things that I would teach young people is that save up your money and get an apartment, even if it's a studio or even if it's something small, but get it in one of the nicest areas of a nice city. It's going to, when you come out the house and you see people around you, it's going to improve your mindset to work more. It's going to have your frequency higher. Your frequency is going to be around wealth, and then you're going to see the possibilities. You ever go home hunting, right? Or like where you're cruising and you're looking at rich houses or something like that, and then you have that aura to you where you're like, I'm going to be able to do this. I'm going to be able. Now imagine if you live around situations like that. Your energy is going to be higher. Rich thinking is decisive. It's a decision. Being one of my videos that I've done on here, and I think it went over people's head because the video didn't do too well. And that's fine. That's life. But the title of the video is Being Poor in 2026 is a decision. Like, that's a decision. Being broke is a decision because it all comes from your mindset. It comes from a lot of different things, but it's like, especially in 2026, where you have so many different avenues, you have so many different opportunities to elevate your mind. One of the first things to really elevate your mind, especially if you don't have anything, the first step that I would talk about is even before the art, before the money or anything. If you don't have anything, the first thing to elevate your mind to a higher level is you have to take care of God's avatar. God's avatar is your body. Work out. If you go to a gym, you're going to have higher endorphins. You're going to have higher clarity. Your frequency is going to be higher because you're on a higher, healthier dopamine. And once you're at that mindset, you're able to think clear. A lot of times I tell people too, like, these are the things where if you can't see a way out, or maybe if your money's messed up, it's usually because you're not exercising, you're not taking walks. Once you start exercising and taking walks, your mind becomes elevated and you see clear. A lot of times we can't even see clear because of the things that we eat, or we're not drinking enough water. And it really starts with your exercise. Like, I know when there's times where if I know that I had to start back from zero, like, I'm always comfortable in the mindset of being like, I could start back from zero and I could still be rich tomorrow. I know how to get rich again. I think it's funny. An interviewer actually asked Elon Musk the same question. She says, if you were broke, like if you lost everything today and you had to start over tomorrow, what would you do, or what would advice? And he couldn't even answer. He laughed. He was like, I can't fathom it because the information of my mind, of what I gathered so far, it's already, I would just get the money back tomorrow. Because your mind, you already know how to be at a higher mindset. And you could be like that too. Like, I can't even think about being broke anymore, because even if I was broke, I could make the money back tomorrow because I already had the mindset. But if I did, the first thing that where I would start at, before having those emergency funds, the savings funds, the business funds, and then that good luck pot, I have to start with the working out. I have to start with the exercise. It's not about the vanity. It's not about being healthy and all of that, which is, yes, important. It's about your mindset. We have a natural chemicals in our brain that leads. We have the God particle inside of our brain that gets activated when we exercise. Let's see here. Kim says, God does see it. It's always better to give than to receive because it always comes back to you. Yeah, that's why Christmas feels so good, right? Like, Christmas feels great, or birthdays feel great when you're giving. It's always better to give. And you're like, why does it feel so good to just give? Why do people feel good about Christmas? People feel good because most of the times you're giving, and it's that energy of giving because it comes back to you. And you may not know when it does, or you're not going to get a letter saying this is because you did this. And you have to do it from the kindness of your heart where you're not expecting anything. And those are always the best feelings. That's why I said for years, I got rich, right? And I made money off of eBay. I made money off of my different businesses, but nothing feels as good as me giving the information that I give now and that I help people. This is the best that I felt in a long time. Let's see here. 717 Best says, I like doing both as long as they do good. Jada Hunter says, the whole point of non-profit organizations is all about not paying taxes. See, that's a part of it too, but there's other ways around of not paying taxes. See, that's not totally true. That's only with that's only what that's only what people who are not totally in the business think it is, but it's not that at all. The reason is the energy comes back. The energy does come back. That's the reason why. It's not about the taxes part. Because trust me, when you're a billionaire and when you're a multimillionaire, there's so many other avenues of how to get around taxes, okay? Taxes is not, nonprofit to escape taxes. There's so many other loopholes to get around taxes. Let's see here. 717 Best says Grant Cardone did it. Grant Cardone did what? What did Grant do? All right, let's go on to the next painting. And we have to really get away from this whole mindset as well. Certain things that we don't understand about how the wealthy operate and how they work, the rich work. We always think, what do we think? We go into the scarcity mindset of like broke normies, where we go, well, it's because they worship the devil. It's because they're bad people. That's not always the truth either. And if you were born into those situations, your mindset would be different too, of how you perceive different people. Like, I don't really believe too much into like a lot of different type of prejudice that people say. One thing that I do believe in is classism. We all have classism. There's different types of class. And that's in every race, that's in every culture, that's in every even financial sector, is that we have a class system. I believe in class system. So if you were born into these things too, you would naturally be thinking of a class system and thinking different. But a lot of times it's not based around these people are bad people. All they do is to cheat taxes. A lot of those things are so basic. Some people are just so rich they don't even pay taxes because there's other loopholes around it. I mean, that's what lobbying is for. I'm gonna be honest, like, only broke people think about taxes. You think rich people don't think about taxes? That's stuff that they report on TV. They keep you occupied. That's dumb stuff. Taxes? $717 Best says Grant Cardone did a reality where he started with no money and he made $5 million in 90 days or something like that. Yeah, because your mindset. But also his mindset, but also knowing universal laws of money. In this day and age, like, it always trips me out where we have technology, we have AI, and then we have certain kids, or we have certain people who they're like, I want an opportunity. I'm broke. And I'm like, that's a choice. Like, you can't be broke in 2026. That's a choice. I think today the jobs report number came out, right? And the jobs report number was like double, or it was like something really good. And I read it and I'm like, it's 2026. Like, who's working these normal jobs anymore? And these companies, like, they're not even hiring people like they used to because they have AI that replaced the departments. And I was like, normies who read that type of stuff, they don't even realize we're cooked. We are cooked. And you're cooked too if you don't. There's a generational wealth going on right now. And if you're not part of it, you're never going to be part of it. And it's not up to the rich to save you, to help you and tell you these things if you're not doing it yourself. And this is the golden time for you to do it. But I just was thinking about that today. Like, dang, you mean to tell me in 2026, like there's people who still like wake up in the morning and they go to a job, like they go to a regular job. That's just crazy to me. Those days is over with. It just those days is more risky than anything. And I was telling my friend, because I shared the numbers or whatever, and I'm like, the only way that you can make money in this day and age, or to have a real where you're not having so much risk, because that's not even real risk. That's not even a safe risk. That's risk where you get laid off and you don't have nothing. You don't have ownership. That's another secret that I'm going to give right now when it comes to uh, universal laws. The secrets to the wealth is ownership. Have ownership of whatever you have, even if it just gives you $20 or $30. Even if it's, oh, I only sold this painting and it only sold for this much. Yeah, for now, but if you keep working on it, you have ownership over it. You have ownership of your collectors. You have ownership of your store. You have ownership of the people that's coming to you, of your name. You have ownership. There's ownership in it. But when I'm like, I don't know, for me, maybe I've been out of corporate America for so long, it just sounds crazy, especially after post COVID. It's a different world. But 2026, people still waking up in the morning to drive, to commute, and then they go to a cubicle and they're sitting there. That's just crazy to me. I'm trying to get people out of that mindset, because if you're already still in there, and if you're in that world in 2027 and 2028, you're cooked. You're cooked. You're cooked and you don't even know it. Job numbers? What are we talking about? Like, I'm like, we're going to get to a point pretty soon where there are no jobs. There's just robots, AI, and did you position yourself before that? I mean, I feel like it's like that now. Like jobs, people are still going, like, that's just crazy to me. Job numbers, get out of here. The only people, like, in this day and age, they already cooked the economy. They already cooked the job sector. None of that stuff is coming back. You have to invest in yourself, and you have to have some type of online business yourself, or have your own business. Don't be working for no company with job numbers in 2026, 2027, thinking that what, the 90s are going to come back, or you're doing something important. You're not. You could make, in this day and age with technology and AI, you could make way more money faster by working for yourself. Use eBay, the money from that, as a way to have an exit plan, to have a different form of business. Because like I said, really in short, what I'm saying is the universal law is to have multiple what? Multiple incomes. If you have multiple incomes, then we all could understand that, right? Like we all hear that before. We all know what that means. Like we all know how important that is. But how come we don't actually do it? Oh, I don't have multiple incomes because I'm waiting for a job to give me the opportunity to work for them. In 2026? What are you talking about? Give yourself your own opportunity. eBay is the best opportunity to have your own business with almost little to nothing startup compared to any other business. And then from there, you're able to, you have control of it where you can flip the profit. And then you can have your different, even like what I would do if they asked me that question, like the Elon Musk question, if they would ask me that question, if I had to go back, the thing that I would do was what I told you to do. As soon as I started, I don't care if it was I profited $5 on my first canvas, or I profited whatever. I would take $1, put it into my good luck pot, and then the others I would put it into the other savings, or I would spend those or whatever. Even if I don't have a vacation savings yet, or an emergency day savings yet, the most important savings that I would tell myself if I could go back into the past is have a good luck savings. Forget those other ones. Forget those other ones. Don't even care about those other ones, because as long as you put money away in the good luck pot, the money's going to come to you faster. And We're grinding anyways. We're working. What, you plan on having a vacation savings sometimes? Why am I even thinking about a vacation savings? Why am I thinking about that when I need to be grinding and I need to be getting myself out of my situation? I need to be making my money. In order for me to make the money, that's what I would tell myself. If I could go back into the past, the number one thing that I would tell myself is focus on exercising, going to the gym, and then any little bit of money. I don't care if it's 25 cents. I don't care if it's a 50 cents. I don't care if it's $1. Put that thing into the good luck savings pot and never ever touch it. If you have that, man, I'd have had $1 million even sooner. I wouldn't even have had to work as hard as I had to work. I'm giving you gems right now. I'm giving you gems for free. Either you listen to it or you don't. That's up to you. I'm giving you real gems right now. If I could go back and tell myself something, that's what I would tell myself if I could go back in the past. Starting off with working with eBay, I would say, don't even think about no other savings pots right now. You'll fill those up. You'll fill those up from the money that comes from the good luck savings pot. What you need to be focused on now is just build up your not your emergency, but your good luck pot, so that the energy comes back to you. And then when that happens, then you could start putting money away in the emergency one, the rainy day, the vacation one. Why am I even thinking about a vacation pot already? I'm not saying that people can't take vacations and that it's not important. I'm just saying that I don't need to be putting money away for that, because then it's going to get my mind off of like what I'm doing. Remember, we don't half-ass. It's all the way or nothing. Need to be thinking about no damn vacation. I'm broke right now. I need to make sure, like, there was times where I knew what was happening in the world. I knew the change was happening even before now. Like now, they're only telling normies a little bit of it on TV because they have no choice. They're only telling you a little bit about the AI and the NVIDIA and the microchips that's already here. They're not telling you the full story, but me, I already knew the full story. And there was times where I couldn't even sleep at nighttime because I wanted to have enough money to invest in the future so that I'm not going to be like working forever. Or not, or I would hate to be in a situation where the world boom, the next generational wealth is happening and I'm not involved in it because I didn't want to work hard enough. I used to stay up at night. I couldn't sleep at nighttime. And then I'm like, the only thing that I can control is me showing up to work. I can do that. I can't control the market. I don't even care what the market does. I don't care. Like nothing is going to stop me. I don't care if like the energy is off or whatever, or, oh, the algorithm. Oh, this politician's in office. Oh, that's all normie stuff to keep you broke and distracted. That stuff is like, I'm telling you, rich people don't even think like that. Anytime I hear people try to blame like politics or something or stuff, I'm like, that's broke thinking. That's broke stuff. People aren't even thinking that. You don't even understand the big thing. They're all friends, and it's all about generational wealth and the transfer. The transfer is happening now. It is happening now, but it's like here, and I tried to tell people it's here this year, and it's being built right now. The thing that's going to take over the dollar, because the dollar is already dead, the Federal Reserve was taken over by Treasury bills, and it's going to be backed by crypto. The banks are at the White House this whole week on the crypto market structure plan, but also the Clarity Act that's already passed the House. In December of last year, the Genius Bill has already passed. These are the real things that's in place. These are the things that kept me up at nighttime. These are the things that I need to be prepared for. These are the things that makes the new Rockefellers. We're about to have a generation now. Within the next 3 to 4 years, there's going to be more millionaires that were made ever in history. Are you going to be part of it or not? And it has nothing to do with all these things either, as like as much as working harder. Yes, that's important, but it's also about these lessons of what I'm talking about. So that way the money does flow to you faster. And that way you could be in position to take care of yourself and your family and not just be some normie. "717 Best says it's about relationship. It's not the money." That's true too. And the relationships is very important. And I gave a gem yesterday that I don't even know if like people really picked up on. It was such a gem that I had to pay for. And it's so true. And I gave it away yesterday for free. And it probably went over most people's heads because this is something that they teach in business. And this is something that even billionaires have to do. The lesson that I said yesterday is that, okay, look, 717 Best says here, she says that it's about relationships, it's not the money. Now check this out. When I just said that about POME, about being a product of your environment, and the fastest way to wealth is to change your environment, it's also to change your environment around the people that you hang around in your relationships. In order for you to have better relationships so you could be around money, a lot of times there in the business world of billionaires, there is no, hey, you're a good person, I like you, let's become friends. No, it's you pay to play and then you become, you have relationships. You pay. That's the real gem. If there's somebody who you want to do business with, or maybe there's a YouTuber that you like, or maybe there's somebody who makes content and you appreciate the things that they're telling you, mentioning. Has anybody left me some super chats in here? Any super chats for any of these gems on here? See, so that's what I'm talking about on here. That's what I'm talking about. You don't understand. The gems come back to you. But if there's somebody in the world who you will want to work with, or you appreciate the things that they're doing and you want to be in their circle, you want to be in that environment, you don't say, hey, you know what? I like your videos. I like your stuff. You're a really good person. And I did this. Like, you have to be involved. Sign up to their courses, take their coaching, send them money from time to time so you could be in their circle, and then you have a relationship with that person. It's easier for them in the future, where when you do want to reach out, you worked on that for a month, you worked on that for 2 months, and then you're able to go out. This is how billionaires have golf meetings. This is how lobbyists work in Washington. These are the universal laws of money. They all know this as well. It's not going to come to them because they're a billionaire corporation and you should feel like you should feel like it's okay where you work with me. Let's see here. 717 Best says, I saw an artist today who's painting burning banks. That's funny. And that's the thing too that people don't understand, that kept me up as well too. What people don't understand is that the banks are done. The banks are done. And they know they're done too. So that's why they're at the table, the bargaining table, and trying to make a deal with crypto right now. because that is where the yield is. That's where the yield's going to. And that's why, for example, last year, I don't know if anybody paid attention, regardless of however you feel about politics or whatever, you would hear a certain president say, where's the gold at? Where's the gold at? He's trolling the banks because he knows that they don't have the gold to back the fiat currency that they've been printing out. The central bank is the Federal Reserve, and the Federal Reserve is independent owned, not by the Americans, where they've been printing so much of the cash off of fiat that doesn't exist because there's no gold backing. You know, before 1932, you used to be able to go to your bank and then you used to be able to like, hey, here's this debt note, because that's what money used to be. It's a debt note. It's like a receipt for the gold that they have where they're holding on to you. Instead of you just holding on to all the cash in your pocket or something, or the gold in your pocket, they would hold on to it. But then they knew that nobody was checking on the gold, so they stole the gold. So that's why he would make a joke of it last year. Where's the gold at? The gold is, he knows there's no gold in Fort Knox. There is no gold. The banks have no choice at this point but to negotiate because there's no gold there. We've been robbed. Now it has to be bailed out by crypto. Are you in position? You think the media who's owned by the banks, they're going to tell you normies that? Why would they do that? So you can have power? No way. Instead, they're going to lie to you. All right, look at that beautiful birdie right there. Look at that. Look at that right there. Isn't that beautiful? Look at our bird. Huh? Look at that. That's our bird. People love bird paintings. I love doing bird paintings as well. All of these things work together. They all work hand in hand. Anytime that my money is messed up or that I feel like my energy is messed up, I always go to the place of what is the universal law, and have I been following order? Another thing of universal law, which is crazy, but I mean, it is, well, not crazy, but there's different forms of sacrifice. Of course, them on the higher echelons, they go to the extreme sacrifice. We're not allowed to talk about it on YouTube, but there's other forms of sacrifice too, of smaller things. Of what are you sacrificing in your life? Are you sacrificing your time? Are you sacrificing maybe even some of your paintings? Are you sacrificing some things that you have to give for the offering? And then it comes back to you. Think about things like that as well too. These are universal laws. Like I told you in the beginning of this video, a lot of these things I can't explain why it works that way. It's just, it is. And this is why they teach it. I mean, you even have some cultures out there, right? Where, maybe on YouTube too, I'm not allowed to say the culture, but they sacrifice goats, right? They have a certain season, or they have a certain time of their religion where they'll cut off the heads of goats and chickens and things like that. And they do that because there's a universal law of the sacrifice. Now, of course, we're not talking about doing anything in that extreme or like that, but you could think about certain things like that where what have you gave back, or what have you sacrificed? What is the energy that you're giving? These are the things that go back into your mindset. These are universal laws. Once you understand these things, you'll understand that life becomes much easier for you. And you don't have to do all these, like, you're working harder. A lot of times, you know, it's all about working. It's mostly about working smarter, but also about universal laws. of the wealth and how it comes back to you, and energy, how it comes back to you. A lot of times you ever feel like dang, everybody in your family, they work harder than everybody. You ever meet somebody where it's like they have more money than you, and maybe their family does, but then when you talk to them, you feel like you're smarter than them. You ever have a manager or a director or a boss or somebody, and then you're smarter than them, and you're like, why is it in life I'm not getting my moment? Because you're not understanding the universal laws of the wealth, success, and how energy flows. It's not even about, oh, well, I stayed at the studio though and I worked all day. You're working harder. 717 Best says last April we had a total electrical breakdown in Spain. No internet, nothing. You could only pay with cash. It lasted more than 12 hours, so I don't want 100% virtual money. Yeah, I hear you, but I don't think you or I have a choice in that. We don't have a say so in that. It's already here. It's already here. There's no going back. Unfortunately. Now, the things that I'm saying, right? The things that I'm saying, it's not saying that I'm for it. I'm just telling you of where we're going. There is no going back. This is the things that are being put in place. They've been put in place for a long time, and now we're into the foundation of it. I think this is gonna be my last painting. Y'all dead as hell in the comments today. Y'all dry. I'm gonna get off here and do some reaction videos and work on in the classroom. Let y'all get back to work. Julie's right. Crypto is so volatile. It is. It's so volatile right now because there's no rules in place for it. It's the wild wild west. So they keep rugging on it and they keep manipulating it. That's why they're fighting the hardest to try to not have to keep it as the wild wild west. I personally think silver is better than the digital though. I agree. I think silver and gold is better. I agree. I mean, because that's God's money. Silver and gold is God's money. But the crazy part about that too is like right now, just like with the Federal Reserve, how they could print the money out from thin air. We've gotten to a point in technology where they could print out gold and silver as well. So, when people think about that, like, well, in comparison to where people think like it's more protected than a blockchain, then they don't understand. We already have the technology now where we could print silver and gold now. And anyone who thinks that like they could pull on silver and metal too, because that means that you haven't been paying attention to the past week where silver and metal crashed as well too, because they could pull on that, so they can manipulate that as well too. It's just not about crypto or, I mean, you think the U.S. dollar of what the fiat dollar of what we've been using over the past 52 years is a crypto. Have you not been paying attention to the inflation? How they can manipulate that? Now, certain cryptos, which is funny because it's all like going on at the same time, certain cryptos have been recently named in some files where we actually know who the founder of them were or who actually funded them to start off. Like Bitcoin, people didn't know who the funder of Bitcoin was until actually it was shown in emails that the founder and who funded Bitcoin was actually Eilenstein. All right, I'll say it that way. Eilenstein was actually the creator and funder of Bitcoin, and that was used because there was no real tracing on there. So that's why they're going through market structure now on different ones. And it didn't have a utility on there. It was used by traffickers for years. And that's why you have people now who are upset, and certain people in Congress or Senate, that now there's going to be rules in place, just like Wall Street, on the compound of where the money's being moved or how it's being tracked. I mean, you could say the same thing about the dollar, you know? I mean, look, over the past 100 years, you know how much trafficking and crime and drugs have been on untraceable dollars amounts on the fiat. For example, they had where it was I think it was Savannah Guthrie, her mother's missing or something, right? Some weird story. But yet they purposely put in there some Bitcoin, 300 pieces of Bitcoin in there just to see the wallet, and then they were able to actually find suspects off of that just by the opening of the wallet. How crazy is that? It's more trackable. Now I understand some people don't like that part though, where it's like trackable because then it's not sovereign wealth. But at the same point, like I said, you're not going to be walking around with gold bricks in your pocket either, to asking for people to give you change on your gold when you're buying a candy or you're going to a movie theater. Yeah, so he invented Bitcoin, so that's why the Bitcoin price dropped. It was 125,000 and then it dropped to now it's like below 66,000, and it's going to keep crashing because there's no utility on it. It was basically like a meme coin that doesn't have any function. The ones that I would talk about, I'm not a financial advisor. The ones that's going to be the future is XRP, XLM. XRP is the future of gold. XLM is the future of silver. These are the backings. They're going to be backed by it. They're already backed by it. It's institutional. The banks were already partnered with JE. That's why if you Google right now, JP Morgan, they do a settlement for JE on the Virgin Islands. They did a settlement because they were part of it. And they were part of the creation of the they wanted, see how when people think of the bad name of crypto, they're thinking of the way of how it was intentionally supposed to be created through Bitcoin and JE, the trafficker island guy, and it's all documented on his emails. That's why the price went down, because nobody wants to be attached to it. Because now if you're attached to that coin, you're basically like, oh, so you're a PDF coin person now, huh? Nobody wants to be attached to that coin. It has no utility. Utility means it has no future. So now, like when banks settle And it's such old technology they've been doing forever for the long time. When banks settle, they use ACH, which is wire. So they would settle something and they would send an ACH wire that would be maybe like on a Thursday or a Friday. And then it would take either a long weekend or even if it was a holiday weekend, and then the money wouldn't hit the account until Monday. But during that whole time, the bank, they're already transferring money on there. They're already collecting interest, but they're transferring that. They're already moving that money. They're using that money. But now when you come to crypto, which is 24/7, and XRP, XLM, they do settlements in a split of a second, and it costs nothing compared to an ACH wire, where it's like now with retail and institutions, instead of them moving money of billions, we're talking trillions of dollars through Swift. Swift is the financial unit that we mostly use. Swift is going to be obsolete now because of through XRP and XLM. Bitcoin has had no utilization. There was no way to really use it compared to just saying that it's a token. It's just something to collect. It's kind of like a memorabilia. That's how it's going to be looked at. But it actually had no technology behind it of what it does. So that's why I try to tell people, like, I can always tell if someone's small. I don't want to say small minded. I don't want to be judgmental, but there's certain people, right, where they think like they get so caught up into other things of whatever the media is telling you to be caught up in of politics. And they don't understand there's a whole war going on right now of things that's already been taken over by its finance. It's not bombs and bullets. It's treasury bonds and gold and banking. These are the institutions that have been taken over. It's a whole look here, don't look there. You're looking at the wrong stuff. If somebody tries to talk to me now about certain things about politics from what they hear on the TV or something, I'm like, dang, you really that broke, huh? You're so broke you think it's black and white, and you don't even understand there's a gray area of where it's about generational wealth. And you're not even going to be a part of it because you got convinced by the TV to dislike this person, to hate that person, or to feel this way. Like, I'm like, you're talking to me like it's 2027. Grow up. You're missing it. And it's not my job to save it either. Rob said, I'm loving this. I appreciate you. These are the real things that fuel Corbellic. These are the real things. This is how I was able to change my life. And they'll never tell you and put you in position to change your life and how you can do it. And then when it's too late, you'll be so broke that you'll be talking like a normie still and blaming what president's in office and this happened and what this politician and the TV told me this. The TV's owned by the banks. The banks are obsolete. The banks are crying right now. And then it got so weird where this is the crazy part. It's so weird right now with people where everybody, if this was so many years ago, if this was 20 years ago or whatever, most times in history, we know the banks are the bad guys. They're the ones where your money's not free. We know this. But then since the banks own the media, they convinced you that all of a sudden they're the good guys. And there's people out here who are cheering for higher interest rates. There's people who are cheering for more taxes. There's people who are cheering for the banks to stay alive. I mean, you don't even understand what world. You don't even understand. And then you're broke too. You're broke. They got you. Maybe this is too much. Maybe I shouldn't be talking like this. Let's talk about polar bears. But I'm the reason I'm having this conversation because the theme of this stream is the secrets of universal wealth, right? These are the secrets of the money. All right, this is my bumblebee or something like that. I don't need to dry it off. It's done. Boom. There's the bee right there. Look at that. Isn't that nice? Let's do one more. Jada Hunter says it's a big theatrical show. Distract and control the goal. Truman Show. Yep. Let's see here. All right, let's do this. One more for the show. One more for the road. I appreciate that. Jada Hunter says, don't hold back. That's one of the things I love about you. Or that's one of my favorite things about you. Yeah, I can't help it. Some people like it, some people don't. That's fine. That's life though. Just like there's universal laws, there's also universal truths. There's your truth, there's someone else's truth, and then there's a universal truth. And you can't please everybody. But you'll have more success in life as long as you don't try to please everybody. Because then if you try to please everybody, then you please no one. Boom. There we go. So by me understanding the universal laws of money and wealth and the secret knowledge, right? I'm able to use that and put it into a mindset of my life. And when I'm painting, it gives me a psychological advantage. It gives me a psychological advantage where I'm able to use these laws, and the little bit of money that I get or whatever that happens, or the cells that I'm able to produce, I'm able to compound them into my life. I'm able to grow them even bigger and bigger. I'm able to grow them bigger and bigger based off of, hey, I have a good luck fund. I have a fund where it generates me more money that's going to come back to me, even if I lost everything, because I can't lose everything. I have the good luck fund. And sometimes what I'll do is I don't have the good luck fund just in one spot either. I'll put it in, I'll diversify it in different areas, so that way really mentally I know that it can't be touched even by me. And one of the things that I do by that, by protecting myself, especially in this day and age, What I like to do in this day and age is something I think it was 717 Best said in Spain where the grid went down or something like that. I anticipate those moments. I anticipate that because that is something that is going to eventually happen. The grid will go down. The grid will go down. Are you prepared for it? So one of the things that I do is I don't keep my money on exchanges. Instead, I transfer them to cold wallets. I have several different cold wallets, which means that I am the owner of my money. I'm the owner of it. I'm the owner of my cryptos, of the ones that actually have utilities that are being signed on as we speak right now for the future of how to transfer money. I'm the owner of it instead of the exchange, such as like, oh, I wouldn't leave it on Robinhood. I wouldn't leave it on Kraken. I wouldn't leave it on Uphold. I mean, these are great exchanges, there's nothing wrong with them. But once I make a transaction with them, I make sure that I transfer the money over to a cold wallet, which means that I own the wallet. So even if the electricity goes out and something, and maybe they could take everything from the exchange or the exchange is down, it's never going to be down from my cold wallet. I own, that's the backup. I just gave out a free gem right there. That's how you do it. That's how the wealthy does it. Yeah, it probably didn't show up on the YouTube because I did it late. I put it out late. I didn't put it out early. Let's see here. Julie Julie says, how do you save different categories of money under the mattress, bank accounts, or safety deposit? See, that's a good question. I just answered that right there. I didn't even read it. That's how I go about it. I just answered that. Tulio says, I think it's difficult for ordinary people to get financial advice because it's a separate industry itself, one that makes a lot of money. Exactly. There's money into being a financial advisor. You don't know who to trust because before you know it, you're their customer instead of their student. Exactly. I'm not going to let the bank I'm not going to let the bank hold on to my money. I mean, of course, got money in the bank, right? But only certain amount. Rich people don't keep all their money in the bank. That's just dumb. And I'm not really too much of a cash person either because the inflation just robs it by the time that you hold on to it. It's not even making no money. So why would I just have cash sitting around like what in a safe or something? Like I'm not no drug dealer. You have money sitting around in the safe when the money could be collecting you could be earning money off of that. And you could be earning money off of it by either just investing in it. It's better yields. It's better yields than what a bank can give you. So I went and put in a bank because they're collecting the money off of it. They don't have the gold. So they're just thankful for the opportunity to hold on to your money so they can keep trading themselves on it. And then if you go to that bank and you're like, hey, can I please take out $20,000 of my money? They're gonna be like, hell no, that's our money. What you want, what you need it for? What you need our money for? Well, can I please just have some of my money? We'll let you know. Joby says there's a trend now. There's a trend now, own envelope stuffing, and it's been good. Envelope stuffing? I'm assuming that that means like cash and stuffing the cash in an envelope. No, I mean, by that point, I'm just like the money's just sitting there. Rich people know how to make the money work for itself. If it's going to sit there, like, what's the purpose then? Make your money work for itself. Like, what's the point of you making money if it's not going to work for itself? That's just I can't imagine doing that. I'm losing money that way. Like, I'll make money. I'll take cash out of the bank, and then it's just sitting in a safe or sitting under my bed or sitting in an envelope. You're not making money. Then that's what broke people do. I'm going to make that money work for itself. I got a job. That money's going to have a job. A lot of times what people don't even understand either, right? Like once you start making money, and especially like that's why me personally, I don't tell family about incomes and stuff like that because then they they're always going to think that you have it and you're rich, and they don't understand how finances work. When you have money, the money's already allocated. So you might be making a certain amount of money, but they think that you're just like you got a safe with $300,000 cash just in there, or you're just walking around with like you just got money in your pocket when really the money is already allocated for stocks or investments. Like, yeah, my Corbellic studio might be worth this much, but Corbellic, him broke. He don't got, like you robbed me now. I don't have no money on you. I don't have no money to give you, but the money's allocated. It's just like a company. You have to treat yourself like a company. This is how the wealthy works. And then the money keeps doubling up, tripling up. Joby says, I was able to buy a car like that. Buy a car like what? How were you able to buy a car? What do you mean? Explain, elaborate. Envelope stuffing is about staying on budget with your spending during your pay period. Yeah, I mean, let's see here. It's a way to be on time to pay bills and save. Yeah, I mean, but we all hopefully most people learn that as kids anyways. Like you get paid, you're just as soon as you get paid, you're not just going out and you're going to the mall to go shopping. I hope like all of us being adults here, we know that you have to have a budget. You can't just be like, oh, I got paid today. I got paid $3,000. I got paid $2,000 or whatever you know, and I'm gonna go spend it's all my money. Like I think all of us, I don't know. I would hope that most people know that when you get paid, you have to budget what especially if you have rent at the end of the month or you have a mortgage or you have a car note. I hope most of us know that all right, this amount goes to groceries, this amount goes to my car, this amount goes to the I hope that goes without saying, right? Or am I missing something? Maybe I'm missing something. Like budgets, like by stuffing envelopes for my budget needs. Huh? You mean to tell me there's grown adults who just figured out that they have to budget their money? What is that? How do you live life then if you don't know you have to have a budget? You're just like before that idea, you think that the money's all yours. You're just going out there and you get a paycheck and you're just going to the mall, buying what you want until, oh, I didn't know I had a budget. Maybe I am missing the point. I mean, it's so short on here. It's not explained. That's why I asked like to elaborate. Like, how does that work? I mean, when I asked to elaborate, someone just the only thing you're putting on here is like the budget. Or okay, like So when I'm thinking envelope stuffing, what are you stuffing inside the envelope then? Is it money? Is it the cash? Maybe that's what it means. Like okay, like you put money inside the envelope for your bills. Like whatever the bill is, you put it inside the envelope. Like, okay, this is the car note. Let me put it in this envelope for that money. I mean, I thought we were doing stuff like that in high school. Oh, okay, that's cool. Money in the envelope for the budget. Yeah, I mean, yeah, we were doing stuff like that in middle school. Jim says, so many meetings. Finally got a chance to log in and say hi. Hey, what's going on, Jim? No worries, man. Take care of your business. Let's see here. Money. She saves thousands. Who's she? Let's see here. Jada Hunter says, or AZ Lady says, you take the cash for budgeted spending in stores, etc. So you're just walking around. You're just a walk around lick for like some knuckleheads to try to rob you. You're just walking around with cash in your pocket. Whatever the bills is or things like that, then they just get allocated into a the bank account. And those are the automatic spends. Anything else is real simple for me to take out and put into a fund of things that I won't touch or look at. It's easier to save more money when I pay myself first. I mean that's just basic financial literacy 101. Teach that to kids. You pay yourself first. It's just easier to save more money that way when before the bills come, before anything, you put the money to the side and then you pay yourself first. Because if not, us humans will end up buying dumb stuff that we really don't need, some more food or some junk food. You want to be healthy, you want to really start eating healthy and stuff like that. You want to start looking good, pay yourself first and you'll buy less junk food. You'll buy less food out. A lot of times people are in bad shape because they didn't budget their money first or just put the money away where you won't touch it. Pay yourself first. Let's see here. AZ lady says exactly. I don't carry cash. It's dangerous. Yeah, that's crazy. It sounds like on Joby's account that she has somebody else typing for her, which is a weird thing. So I'm not even going to read that if you're not the person. Like you're talking in third person. You have no idea. She does pay herself, dude. You think you're too smart, dude. You're on my channel. Let's see here. Tulio says, what point did you realize wealth isn't just about making more money? And what changed in how you ran your art business? Mm. At what point did you realize that wealth isn't just about making more money? And what changed in how you ran your art business? Um, it's a good question. I just have to think on it. What point did you realize that wealth? Um, you know, I think it's when I started to take it more serious, and then I started to be in different environments and I started to be around other people and other businesses. And then I realized that it wasn't about the money, because there's only a certain amount or a certain ceiling. But with energy, energy is infinite. I have to think on that one. I have to think on that one, and maybe I'll talk about it on the Q&A if you ask me again. But I'll think on it. But it's just like anything else in life. There's just different chapters that you have in your life, and there's different learning. There's different learning chapters. And maybe and maybe it came from a situation of being where I felt like there was always some type of ceiling, or there was something else that was more than just the physical. Or noticing how there was the rich and wealthy, but for some reason they understood something universal, but they weren't working as hard as I was working. And until it was taught that it wasn't really about the hard work either. Yeah, see, AZ said the same thing. Most of my bills are on auto pay, automatic budget. Exactly. So that's an automatic, yeah, right? Like these are comments, like, yeah, like automatic budget. So that's what I do. Like any bills that I have that I know is a bill, I don't think about it because it comes out of the bank account. So I'll make sure that I'll keep a certain amount in the bank account plus a little bit more or whatever to cover the automatics. And then I'll have other money that's moved around other places. But that way it's just an automatic, like that's how you really save money. You save money by it's already being allocated. I don't have to put stuff money into an envelope. Like that's what we have bank accounts for. And we don't get robbed by knuckleheads. It's dangerous. Take money out. Could you imagine being at a store somewhere and you're just taking out a wad of cash, like out of an envelope? You got people looking at you. And then it's just like people who do that, you're like bad with money. I can't stand when I see these videos of rappers or whatever, and then they're at a store and they're just taking out all this cash so they could buy Louis Vuitton or some stupid stuff. And then it's like, how come you just don't use an American Express card? Like, why do that? It's so dumb. The money's not even working for you. But also too, Leo, I think what really hit me is I spent a lot of money on courses to learn mindset. And once I started going to these coachings and learning about the mindset and learning these secrets, then it just really changed my mind. And then I was able to approach art different that way. It helped me become a better artist because I didn't take it as serious. It's not that I don't take it serious, is that I understood also in the creation of art that there's a beginning and there's an end, that there's an actual plan if you know how to it feels better if me personally, it feels better for me to create art by knowing that there's a mission. And maybe this is something that I haven't talked about enough, is that I always say to you, what is your why? What is your why? Why are you doing this? But really, I guess what I need to say as well too is that what's your mission? Because you'll feel better about getting out of the bed in the morning and ending if you know that, all right, this is my mission, this is my end date, this is my. Now, even if the end date isn't a real end date, I always have an end date in my mind because that way it makes it easier for my job and what my task is. But if I'm feeling like something is infinite and I'm just doing this and I don't know when I'm going to stop, I don't know when the end goal is, I don't want to do it. It's going to be like, when is this over with? Like, you ever had that feeling? I know a lot of us feel this feeling right now, especially how heavy the energy is in this world that we have, right? Where it's like we're always waiting for something. right? We're waiting for this day, that we're waiting for this good moment to happen. When is that good thing going to happen? I'm always feeling like I'm waiting. The way to get around that feeling of waiting is putting it in your mind where I'm doing this so that way I can have this amount of money in my good luck savings, and then I can have this amount of money that I could invest in my a certain crypto, and then I'm waiting for this yield to happen, and then when that happens, I'll cash out at this point, and like there's always an end date. So that's what always helped me and understand wealth is that it's not just about working hard. Rich people and wealthy people, I always tell people by they don't get rich and wealthy by saving money. That's for broke people because you're not making your money work for you. They're making their money work for them. A lot of times if you walk up on a rich person or a wealthy person, they don't have envelopes of cash. They don't. Like you're not going to walk up on Elon Musk and he's got any money on him. Like most of the time these people are rich as their company on paper, but the money's already allocated for. So once I started learning that and about how to make sure the money works for me, and it helped me with my business where I could produce more art, because then my ego is really out of it, because I'm looking at it as a mission for it. I'm not just doing this forever. If I'm doing it forever, then I don't want to do it. It's boring. But the mission is like in short spurts, like, okay, this summertime, like I have a goal for this summertime. I have a goal for this winter time. I have the certain goals of metrics of what I hit of my investments and certain things, and I have mile marks. So that way it's easier for me to get out of bed because I'm working towards these marks. That's the mission. I think that was a really good one. Let's see here. Just a topic. How did you transition to the wealth way of thinking? Are you going to do a class on the community too? I think so. I'm just trying to figure out how I'm going to go about it. But yeah, I am. I'm going to do a community on it as well. Not a community. I think I'm just going to keep it inside of our community. But I think it's going to be a course lesson. And then I think what I'm going to also do is that I'm going to have Zoom calls on it so we can so we get together once a week as well too, just like we get together in the Q&A. So I'll do something like that because that way I could talk more about it. There's certain things that I can't say on here, but I can say it inside the community. So that's how I'm going to do it. I'm going to have a course in there where we're going to be talking about the wealth and things that you can do, and I can show you of what to do, and it costs you nothing. You know, these are free things that you could do for free, where you can start allocating some of your money, and you can do it for free. And I don't want nothing out of it. I don't want you to transfer me any money. I don't want you to, I'm not going to be holding on to any of your funds or anything like that. I'm just going to be telling you things of what I've done to help transition me. Let's see here. $717 Best says, I use cash too, but I also use the bank. When I shop online, I need both. There's no cashless country yet. Not even China or Switzerland. They still use cash because of the elder and homeless. Yeah, I mean, look, I carry cash too, all right? But I'm not walking around with thousands of dollars in an envelope, is what I'm saying. I'm not I'll walk around with enough cash to do if I need to do small commerce, or if I go to a farmer's market. Cash is different than an envelope cash. We know what we're talking about. All right. We know what we're saying. That's different. Cash in my wallet is a little bit different compared to walking around with an envelope full of cash. Farmers market cash to get some vegetables or to do some commerce, or for me to pay, like if I need to pay valet parking, or if I need to pay parking or anything like that. That's different than walking around with loads of cat. Like, come on, we know what we're talking about here, or at least I hope you do. Maria says end date. Perfect. See, doesn't that sound good? End date does sound good. And I talk about these things too. I always say, like in the community, if you join, I don't want everyone people to think, oh, I have to be an artist forever. And I'm going to have to tell my friends if maybe you're not in it for that, where you're like trying to, because people will be like, what, are you trying to be an artist or something? You got to explain yourself. I never wanted to be like that, where you have to explain yourself and you're some type of, you don't have to go that route, but you could just do this because anybody can do this and you can have an end date. That's realistic. It feels better. Doesn't it sound good? It makes you feel better. Now, if I was a coach, right, like the rest of these people, see, I'm the only coach out here where I talk about an end date. There should be an end date in your mind. You shouldn't always feel like you're going to be taking coaching forever. It's just like going to a psychologist or a counselor or something like that. If you ask them how many people they cured, they'll say zero. They haven't cured anybody because their whole business model is that they only get paid from the insurance company. So their business model is not to cure you. Me, I'm a coach where I am in the mindset of abundance. So I don't need you to be coached forever in this. You need to have an end date, so that way you're able to have investments. You're able to move on to other better things of your life or whatever you need to do. Or maybe your end date is for you to just keep making money and still doing eBay. Like I said, I was doing eBay for 7 to 8 years, but then I was able to transition to other things and have a mission that way. But you can have where this has always been a way for normal people. Like I said, the banks, our jobs, corporations, they've already taken so many different things away from us and they've already taken our time from us. So this is the only way, because I know there's been times where I prayed on it where I just want one leg up. Like sometimes we get so suffocated with things in life where we always feel like we don't even get a chance. And I just wanted a chance. Just give me a little bit of a chance and I'll make everything else work. Just give me one little bit of wiggle room and I'll make everything else work. Just give me a little bit of wiggle room, please, God. And then I'll transition from there. I even always say that too, is like a lot of times in life, you're not going to know what the next route is going to be, the next fork in the road, unless you are on the first fork of the road. You have to be open for the first one. And then God will show you what the next thing is. But a lot of times we don't even know what the next thing is because we're not in that period of our life yet for that transition. And then when the opportunity meets you, you have to be open for it, and then you can have that exit. It's not forever. I want people to be in the situation of where I'm at, where you can have set yourself up for generational wealth and you could be ready for the AI digital. I mean, whatever. You can have your own opinions of it. It doesn't mean that it's going to change. It doesn't mean anything. But you can put yourself in a situation to at least be diversified in it. Fine. You can still have your beliefs or whatever you want. If you want to walk around with a whole bunch of cash on you, or you want to have all of that and you want to think it's the 1960s and it's backed by, you can still do that. Diversify your money that way, but also diversify yourself for the future in case it does go that way. You could be protected both ways. Why put yourself in all eggs one basket when it comes to fiat? No one is coming to save you but yourself. The thing that helped me so much, Tulio, is that mindset. That's the thing that helped me get out of bed. That's the thing that helped me create more paintings. That's the thing that helped me more than anything. Once it clicked for me, is the exit. I can't do it forever. But as long as I have a plan, it makes it worth it to get out of bed and to actually create. It makes it worth it for me to do what I need to do. it makes it worth it. It makes it feel better for me, because the thing is, if we're only thinking about now and our reality now and there's no future and it's just now, then we're not going to see where there's light at the end of the tunnel, where we're just going to be thinking that, oh, the sales are bad now and the money's like, we're just going to be in such a mindset where we're not being a time walker. I always say that we got to be a time walker in order for you to be successful. The real way to manifest is that whatever you have to, whatever you want the future to be of yourself, you have to start living that now. And it's easier that way for me. Instead of me always feeling like someone else has control of my life or whatever, of the politicians or the economy or whatever. Instead, what makes me feel better is that I have control of my life, and I'm setting myself up for the mission. The mission goal is not this constantly. The mission goal is I'm using this as a tool for the exit. Because once the exit, I've already put enough money into the good luck jar. I've already put enough money into the savings jar. I already put enough money into the investment side, where I'm set for whatever diversifies in the world. I diversified on different parts. I have gold, I have silver, I have the cashies, I have the investments, I have the digitals, I have the AI. Whatever one, because we're at the part of generational wealth, it's going to go all in on one of those ways. I'm ready for it, whatever it is. And that's the thing that kept me up at night. That's the exit plan. That's what helps me create paintings and go into it with no ego. How can I have ego in it when I know that I have an exit plan? Why do I care? Only people who care is people who don't see the future, and they think that, well, don't you want to be remembered forever in the Louvre Museum? What are you talking about? It's not that deep. We're creating art. And I'm using this as an avenue for the larger picture of what I want. And you need to think about that too. That's why in the 14-day sales challenge, where I put on there, what is your whys? Explain your why. And I say to you, you have to make it bigger than yourself. Because I say, if you make it about yourself, I said one day you're going to hit that goal about money. I want this amount of money. I want that amount of money. There's going to be a day where you're going to hit that dollar amount, and then what? You need to make it bigger than that. Because if not, when you hit that dollar amount, what's going to be the mission that have you keep going and have bigger than that? Sometimes like a lot of times, if you notice, when there's a success story, people in the community, they'll go, I wrote down what my dollar amount was going to be that I wanted to hit. And I hit my dollar amount by this date that I said I was. And I was like, yeah, because you wrote it down and that was your mission. So I always tell people, like, you need to make your goals bigger. If you want to excel and really have wealth too, this is another lesson. Make your goal bigger. I always say that, make your goal bigger. Because then if you aim for the stars, at least you hit the moon. Like, why are you going to aim so low? If you aim so low, you're not going to hit it, because psychologically you're going to think that that's unachievable, or that's the metrics. Have your metrics be impossible, and you'll be able to at least shoot past. So like when people will go, well, how many numbers should I do in one day? And then I'm being facetious and I'm like, do 100 paintings in a day. You know, some people in their mind, they might think I'm being literal, and I'm not. Well, maybe I am, but have that be a goal in your mind where, okay, what are you made out of? Are you going to do it? What's the worst? I did a video yesterday. It was a reaction video, and it was from an artist called Ty Nathan Clark. But at the end of the video, there's an artist. Her name is Helen Helen something, I don't know. But it's at the end of the video and she says something that's very profound where she says that she goes, sometimes you just have to stop yourself and you really have to check yourself and go, what's the worst that could happen? Challenge yourself. What's the worst that could happen? We're just creating. And that's one of the things that I had to do for myself. And I know it might sound easy and maybe it sounds cliche, but it's really one of those things that you have to stop to yourself. Maybe even look yourself in the mirror and go, look, why are you making this more difficult than it needs to be? What's the worst that's going to happen? You're going to create ugly art? Are you going to spontaneously combust? No, you're not. What's the worst that's going to happen? Just create fast and get onto it so you can get on with your mission goal. Stay on mission. Your mission is an exit plan. What's your exit plan? Let me know if I'm making sense. If you haven't left a like in here, leave a like in this video. Let me know you appreciate the gems that I'm dropping on here. Leave me a super chat so that the universe understands that you understand the universal laws of wealth and giving back. If you found value, give back. And that's not even just for me, that's just everything in life. It comes back to you. You know how many times I had mentors that I was already a part of their coaching and I would send them money and be like, I don't even want nothing from you. I just appreciate what you were doing this week. I hope you have a good week. I appreciate you. These are the blessings that came back for me. And I can't teach that to everybody because not everybody's in that mindset. And to be honest about it, to keep it all the way honest, because a lot of humans are selfish. People like to take and take and take and not give back. Julie says can't hear me. Can y'all hear me? Is my audio good? Okay. Maria says that she can hear. It's good. Sometimes in life you have to go all in, is what AZ said. No, I mean that's not sometimes. That's all the time. You have to go all the way in. Because what's the worst that's going to happen? You know, the worst that's going to happen is that you're going to die one day. That's the worst that's going to happen, is that one day you're going to die. That was going to happen anyways. You know what people say on their deathbed, one of their biggest regrets is that they didn't wish for more, for bigger dreams, and that they didn't take enough risk. Because then they realize at that time that it's too late for them to take any risk and that they could have done it. And that the whole time they were thinking about other people caring about what they're doing or trying to play it safe and not be judged, they realized that nobody was watching them anyways. And also realizing what I was saying, that if they would have just wished bigger and had bigger dreams, they could have accomplished it. Because you could accomplish anything that you dream on. It's just a lot of times that we sell ourselves short in making the dream so small, so basic. Huh, that is true, Jada Hunter. I just noticed that. The super chat's not there. I have to check on that. Wonder what that's about. Maybe because I didn't put on there for it to be monetized. Let's see what we got on here. I don't think I could change it now, but no worries. I'm still here. Oh, look at that. There we go. Boom. There we go. All right. No worries. No worries. It's not on this. No worries that the super chat's not on this one. We'll be here again. Not a big deal. And besides, it's not about that anyways. It's just the lesson of what we're talking about, right? All right, let's wrap this up. I'm just gonna white out some areas to punch it in, and then that's it. But I appreciate that anyways. Tomorrow's topic will be a little bit lighter, I promise. But this is a hard lesson, really. I wanted to talk about it to drop some jewels, but I understand that it's a very difficult one. And it's a very difficult one because certain lessons in life you have to be ready for it in your timing. Some lessons are easier to go over. And money universally is always a difficult topic. And a lot of times you have to be the initiated who's willing to be open for the conversation. So a lot of times, especially like this, if you're not ready for it, it could come off abrasive because it's money. People are sensitive when it comes to money topics and money situations. So it's one of those things. Most people just want to hear simple stuff like, let me show you how to make $10,000. Let me show you how to make an extra $5,000. It's as simple as this. And there's other things that come into place with it. So it's like algorithm wise, it's not too popular for me to have this kind of conversation with you, but it's important for me. I appreciate you, Jada Hunter. And that's that. Yeah. Well, hold on. Let me do something like that. And that's that. Boom. Yeah, so I mean, I really didn't even go too deep into the topic today. There's a whole bunch of deeper things, but I just wanted to go over the main principles, really. But I mean, it gets heavy. And like I said, it's not for everybody because that's why most people in the world are broke. If it was supposed to be for everybody, then it would just be as simple for everybody to obtain and to do it. People want the nice things. People want the Rolex. People want the nice cars. They want the nice whatever because they're not easy to get. There's things that you have to do to either sacrifice or there's things that you have to give away in order for you to get it. You have to be disciplined. You have to work. There's different things for you to do. That's why it's something that not everyone has. And I think what I really love, right, is that I love where I could be honest with you because there's just too many coaches out here, right, where they want to make it seem like every single day is a good day, and that's not how life works. Even if you're a billionaire, especially if you're a millionaire, there's always cycles in life. There's always cycles. There's ups, there's downs. There's downs, there's ups. There's times where the market is sideways and it's not even moving. And you always have to go through life that way. You always have to anticipate the downs, the ups, the goods and bads. And these are things that I really try to emphasize and talk about in my coaching. I just don't always say things like, you're going to make $1 million. Everybody's going to make $1 million. And this is the cool thing is that we could talk and be human with each other where there's really good moments and then there's moments where things are sideways because that's life in general and you can't control that in the market. But I show you a mindset and energy of how you control what you can control is which is yourself. All right, let me put my signature on here. And then what you can do in those moments is what makes everything. I like in times in the market and also in the universe when we have down cycles. I love those moments, me personally, because I know that what's the universal law of everything? There's a positive and there's a negative, and you can't keep it down forever. The more that you try to, the more that there's things that where people say, oh, these things are manipulated, the market's manipulated, life is manipulated. The more that you have energy that tries to keep something down, it's always going to shoot right back up. The harder that you try to keep it down. So the more that you feel like that, even in your own life as well, as long as you're showing up, then life has no choice but to make sure that you succeed. And you're going to shoot right back up. It could be today, it could be tomorrow, but there is an end mission. And I love those moments because then that's where God is testing you to see what you're made out of because it's not going to be down forever. It's not down forever. All right, look at this beautiful painting, huh? Look at this. Isn't that beautiful? Look at that. I love that. Look at that. Come on. Look at that. Right? All right, there we have it right there. I love that painting. That was cool. Yeah, and that's why we have our community too. But that's also why it's like, I always say, you didn't find me, I didn't find you, we found each other. And that's how things are going to be in your life too. Just be authentic, be you, and your tribe is going to come to you. That's all that matters. There's nothing else that you can control. I can't control trying to be liked by everybody, or you're not going to be liked by anybody, and you're not even going to like yourself. So those are the things right there. Those are some top gems. Like maybe if you want, come back to the video and just watch the video again so you can get a lot of gems that's going on and you can really understand the mindset, because the mindset is not for everybody, and it really takes a mature mindset or even an understanding of some of the things that I'm talking about. And maybe you're not ready for that yet, and that's understandable. I can't judge people on where they're at in their journey, because I understand that too. I had my own journey that I had to go through in order to learn a lot of these things that I talk about in life lessons, when it comes to the secrets of wealth, the secrets of success, the energy of flow. Is just not always about I work so hard. Yeah, there's a person who's like doing construction and laying bricks and stuff. He's working really hard, but he doesn't understand the foundation of success that billionaires and millionaires understand, and they're not working at all, right? Like there's just different things that come along with it. All right, let's see what we have here before I get out. Um, It's great having the beautiful community that's on the same frequency. It is. It's amazing. Maria says, that's why I'm here in the elite community, to learn, not play, and just watch. Must get somewhere better and better. AZ Lady says, be prepared so those hurricanes and fires, setbacks come. They will. They don't destroy you. Exactly. Exactly. You're absolutely right. And that's the thing too, where it's like, having a mindset and having these things in place, not tripping off of it, because there's always going to be hurdles. There's always going to be things coming for you in your life. But as long as you're prepared for it, as long as you have that good luck fund that we talked about on there, start with $100, it builds up to $1,000. Once you can put $1,000 in there, you're going to notice that $100,000 is just going to flood towards you. But yeah, just things like that, because that's life. The market. There's going to be times in eBay where it's like, oh, the sales are slow. That's not always forever. It's just like anything else in the market. Like, do you think that everything is just going to be raining gold all the time? I would be lying to you. But when it comes, and it always does come. I've been doing this for a long time. Let's see here. Love the painting. I need the mindset. Maria says, got struggles, but still here and wanting better. That's what it's all about, as long as you want better. So I appreciate you. If you're not already a part of the elite community, if you're not already in the best community that we show you how you could do this for yourself, you can start making sales as early as next week. Click the link that's in the chat. It's pinned to the top, and you can join us. You won't be alone. 14-day sales orientation to get your account built up, templates, download, everything is there for you. So check us out. We have a Q&A every week, and I'm going to see you tomorrow, same time, and I appreciate you.